Welcome back to Technique WOD. Today we're going to continue on with the squat series. Video 1 was the overview video of the squat. We gave you all of the points of performance for squatting. The big three were heels down, neutral spine, and knees out over your toes, or at least in the same plane as your foot. In video 2, we went over front squats. Video 3, we went over back squats. And now this is video 4. We're going to go over spotting and dropping weight and how to do that safely without hurting yourself. All right, so for the spotting and dropping weight video, we're going to talk about, again, front squats, back squats, high bar and low bar, and we're also going to talk about box squats, which we'll probably cover in one of the later squat videos. So first we're going to talk about dropping weight and how to go to failure safely without having a spotter to save you. You shouldn't need anyone to save you for the most part. So if I go over here and I'm doing a front squat, front squats are the easiest ones to fail on because I can squat down, and then if I can't stand up, it's easy. I just drop the weight on the ground. Oop. I just drop the weight on the ground, and it's no big deal. And I can do that without hurting my wrist. I don't need to be like in this horrible position before I decide to drop the weight. For me, once I go here, I push. I rarely try to get way out of position before I drop the weight. I just get here, and I kind of just give it a little bit of a hop back, and I drop the weight on the ground, and I don't blow my wrists out before I drop it. I don't drop my elbows before I drop the weight. I just go, okay, I can't stand up, and then I just bail 100%, and then I usually have to strip all the weight off and load it back on the rack, which is kind of a pain, but you don't hurt yourself. Problems that I've seen with people trying to drop a front squat before is I've seen this a number of times where someone is down and they stand and then they go like this. They drop their elbows and then it hits their knees, and then now their elbows can't drop anymore and they kind of get locked in place, and you see my wrists getting cranked back like that. They go like this and it hits and then it tears on the wrist really hard. So you want to make sure that you're here, elbows are up, and then you kind of hop out of the way a little bit, or at least make sure that you're tossing it forward and your elbows aren't going to crash down onto your knees. So I haven't seen that many times, but it's happened to me once before, and I've seen it happen to other people, so you want to avoid that for sure. Back squats, for a high bar back squat, a high bar Olympic style back squat, it's going to be easier to drop that because generally you're a little taller and upright with your posture compared to a low bar back squat where you're more bent over. It's hard to bail the bar behind you when you're so bent over. So again, here's the distinction for a high bar back squat. I'm here, it's high on my traps. And then when I squat down, I'm pretty vertical for the most part, and I don't have the best squatting leverage, but still I'm pretty tall. And if I'm here and I need to just kind of step out, I can just drop the weight off my back. Generally, we don't let people drop just the barbell unless they absolutely have to, but I'm doing it for this video so you can see me from the side. And then for a low bar back squat, if the bar is not on my upper traps here, and it's a little bit lower like that, for the most part there, so I have a wider, more powerlifting style stance, and I'm squatting down where I'm way more bent over, it's harder for me to kick the bar behind me because I have so much further to go before I can drop it off my back. And if it's really heavy weight, maybe I stand, my butt pops up, and now I know I can't stand up. Well, how am I going to get it off my back? It's going to be harder than if I just had someone there to spot me. So for a low bar back squat, I'd rather have someone spot me where they can just help me back up as opposed to trying to drop it off my back or trying to do what I've seen people do before. And sometimes they don't really mean to do this, as they try to go under the weight, where they go like this, and then they try to throw it over their head, and that's far from safe. So I've seen people do it before, and they've made it out unscathed, but it doesn't mean it's a good idea. So with a low bar back squat, you want to have a spotter, someone either right behind you to help you up, maybe even two people on the sides to help with it if it's a particularly heavy barbell. Once you're getting over 300, 400, 500, 600 pounds, having one spotter usually isn't ideal, and you want some people on the sides too. You see guys squat 1,000 pounds, they got two people per side plus a spotter behind them. So for a low bar back squat, it's probably better to have a spotter, and we're going to cover spotting here in a second. Especially if I'm doing a box squat. So if I'm here and I'm doing a box squat, especially a low bar box squat, I sit down, and then if I can't get up, I don't want to drop the bar onto the bench, it's going to hit in the middle, and then it's going to spring like that, which is dangerous. You don't know where it's going to spring. You know if the weights are going to fall off and then it's going to flip over. You don't know if it's going to break the barbell. You know if it's going to bounce back towards you and potentially hurt you. You don't know what's going to happen, so you don't want to drop the bar on a bench. There's nothing good about that. So you always want a spotter when you're doing any type of a box squat, especially if you're using bands. Bands will accelerate the bar towards the ground really fast. And it's probably not going to fall off your back. It's going to scrape and shred your back. I've seen that too with guys that have big scars on their back from getting shredded from a sharp bar. This person didn't even have bands, but it still hit them in the back and it messed them up pretty good. Hi, Corey. So we're going to grab McGoldrick real quick, and I'm going to show you how to spot. All right, so real quick, I'm going to show you how to spot somebody on a front squat. Again, you don't have to actually spot most people on front squats. The benefit of actually having a spot for something like a front squat and a high bar back squat, even though you could drop it, is that for experienced people that are going to be doing a couple of heavy sets, you can just give them that little bit of a bump just through like 2 or 3 inches of their sticking point, and it will allow them to do a few more reps on that set. A couple of forced reps could potentially help you get a little bit more of a stimulus, and that's going to help you gain some strength. So for new people, you don't need to spot them and make them do forced reps. This is for advanced people, and it's not something you necessarily even need to do all the time, but it is an available option for advanced people that need it on occasion. So here's what that looks like if he's going to do a front squat. A few things. So number one, I don't want to be way back here. If he needs me to help him and I'm at arm's length, I'm not going to be able to help him. Number two, you're only going to have to squat down with him once you can see he's having trouble getting through that sticking point. But once that point comes, go ahead and squat down. I'm going to be here, nice and close. And for the most part, if I just know I'm going to bump him through a sticking point and not really save him, I'm just going to push up on his elbows like that and just kind of bump him through the sticking point. If I actually have to save him and he goes down, he's not going to make it, I want to be close enough where I'm squatting right next to him, very friendly, where I can push his elbows, and then if I need to, I can kind of just pick up his chest. Like I grabbed him basically with the crook of my elbow right underneath his lats, right underneath his shoulders. And you got to be really friendly. He's like right there, and I kind of get to give him a little bit of a shove, but we're like totally close, and so it's cool. Back squat, pretty much the same thing. If he does a high bar back squat, same thing. I see this all the time with beginners. They want to feel like they're helping somebody, and so they're way back here. And maybe they're looking at him, and then he starts to stand up, can't make it, and they're just like, and they try to grab him like this with their hands. And if the bar is heavy at all, that's not going to work. And then what happens is they go ahead and stay squat down again. They go here. He can't stand up. I try to save him. He knows I can't save him, and then I try to get closer at the same time. He tries to drop the bar, and he drops it on top of me. Okay, so that's obviously bad. Again, you want to be nice and close, and you're going to do the squat with him. I'm going to be here, and then I'm going to come up and right here. If you want, you can put your hands all the way like right here on the shoulders. Especially if you're squatting a female, you don't want to be like this and just pick them up, or maybe you want to, but you shouldn't. But you're going to put your hands right here on the shoulders. That way you can actually use your upper body. You're almost connected shoulder to shoulder to help pick them up. And then if you really have to, you can give them a little bit of a shove with your hips just to push their hips forward if their hips are coming up and they're bombing forward.
Man, I'm going to start spotting more often.
That's right.
Spotting's so cool.
Mike's been holding out for us. He just did a bunch of hard-ass intervals. He's about to throw up. Good man for helping out with the video, though, anyway. Yeah. You can throw up now. He just flops over. Huh?
I was about to pass out, literally.
No, dude. Yeah, no, thank you for doing that. This is great TV. All right, real quick, I want to show how to use side spotters. You can use just a single spotter behind you. You can use oh, he's being a trooper. You can use 2 side spotters, or you can use a person behind you plus the 2 side spotters, so you have 3 people total. For the moment, we're just going to show you what the side spotters look like. If you have just side spotters, you're going to want to have them basically not touch the bar at all. They're not going to give you a forced rep and bump you through your sticking point. They're going to just basically save you if you need it. So you don't want one guy giving you a little bit of help and the other guy not giving you very much help at all, and then they're tilting you or pushing you, teeter-totter back and forth, side to side, and making you get off balance, okay? So if I'm doing a low bar back squat, which is usually what I would use side spotters for the most part, they're just going to be having their hands right underneath the bar, and they're kind of going to squat down with me. And then if I get down and I can't get back up, they're basically going to say, okay, they're going to basically just pick it up and save me from missing the lift. Again, they're not really just going to like help me. They're going to say, okay, he didn't get it, and everyone's going to communicate and say, take it, and they're going to pick it up and put it back in the rack. Oftentimes when you watch power lifters, there's 4 or 5 or 6 people all around the one lifter, and they're like, everyone's kind of watching, and then they just go get it, and everyone just picks it up all at the same time, and they put it back in the rack, or they just pick it straight up, and the monolift comes down and grabs the barbell. So thank you, fellas. Appreciate it. All right, that's it for the dropping weight and spotting video. Hopefully we'll come back and do a box squat and an overhead squat video. And then again, maybe a few other ones that we haven't figured out yet. So if you're interested in seeing the rest of the squat series or the snatch series that we did and the clean series that we did and the jerk series that we did, you can go to barbellshrug.com, click on the episodes tab at the top of the page. We also include a best of section where if you want to watch the best technique WOD videos, the best barbell shrug videos, and a bunch of other cool stuff that we threw in there. There's a best of section of that tab now as well. So I will see you another day. Thanks for watching.